Well, hi there. Thanks for coming back to the Paisley Food Fight for our second edition. The first was well received, so I'm grateful for all your correspondence and positive remarks. So this time we're going to do Katsu Chicken Curry. This is a meal often ordered in restaurants, but it can vary. Sometimes it's just a chopped up chicken burger with chip shop curry sauce on it, and other times it can be something really nice. So to start off, I thought I'd have a look at one of Paisley's two Japanese restaurants and get a control Katsu Chicken Curry here to see what the standard should be. One of the restaurants was shut, so the winner here will be Okame, which is in Moss Street in Paisley, which is just to the side of Paisley Gilmer Street Station. So as you can see here, it's another pissing wet day in Paisley, but we struggled in and found a parking space right in front, which was handy. The restaurant's actually surprisingly busy for a Monday lunchtime, and as you can see here, it's nicely laid out, a lot of lanterns and flags and stuff. The waitress was quite attentive, and we ordered drinks quite quickly. The beer was really expensive, £7.30 a pint, so I'm not paying that. So I had a soda water lime instead, which was £2.90. Irene just had still water, which came from a bottle in the fridge, and that was £1.70. So it's about a Swiss £1.20 for a dash of cordial, but this is how they get you. Anyway, the menu here was pretty extensive. I got the first thing on the menu, which was their curry bowl with katsu chicken, and Irene got a plate of sushi. Before the food arrived, I had my customary visit to the toilet, and it was one size fits all toilet, so it's the gent ladies and disabled. So it's just one thrown, and it was fine. Nice cat pictures on the wall, and it was very clean, so no issues there. The food came in about 10 or 15 minutes, and the curry bowl didn't disappoint. You can see here I've got a large breaded fillet of chicken, and it was solid meat, and it buried itself amongst all the curry sauce as well. So there's more than you probably see here. Also got a large tower of rice, which was great, and broccoli and carrots, which were quite firm. It was also buried amongst it all a nice wee bit of potato, which I enjoyed. The sauce itself was a nice rich gravy. It wasn't the chip shop curry sauce you get in powder form from Bisto sometimes. It was a proper gravy they'd made up, and it was really tasty. It was still tasting a couple of hours later as well. They also offered really good condiments here. You can see the wasabi paste and or the seasoned soy sauce and whatever. So it's certainly a step above from the standard. And they also provided cutlery, which was handy because I thought it was just going to be chopsticks going with the stems here. But there were forks and spoons, although sadly no knives, so had to hack away a wee bit. I really enjoyed her maki set sushi, which was chicken and salmon and prawns. I think I don't like fish food, so I didn't eat any of it, but she enjoyed it and will be back with her friends, so that's a good sign. So overall, it's an excellent meal. It's probably as good a katsu chicken curry as I can remember. Some places you get it with chips, which might be an improvement, but I don't know if that's the Japanese way. So overall, the bill was £24.5p, which is a bit cheaper than the previous rounds, but it's probably due to no alcohol being drunk. I had also luckily chanced upon the Katsu Chicken Curry being their Monday special, which wasn't planned, but a welcome relief, so it was only £8.50, which was a real bargain. I've put the specials board up here. There is a tasty dish every day, so you can plan around that. So it was an excellent visit overall. I've put some scores up here, but this is a control restaurant only because, as I say, it's unfair than the pubs that I generally visit to have a actual restaurant involved.
No professionals.
Right, here we go. We're off to Harvey's now, which is in Glasgow Road in Paisley, just along from the Borough Bar, which we saw in the lasagna edition. So you see it's a pissing wet day. This is bonfire night, so good luck with that. And we're passing Vets for Pets here, where we had to say goodbye to a friend Woody last week. So please like and subscribe if you want him to get to cat heaven. Anyway, so Harvey's is a nice bar. It's been recently refurbished. You can see here it was populated with lots of old men, but it's got quite a nice atmosphere. Had the sport on the telly. It's part of the Star Pub chain, which is not one I know. I think it's kind of independent and they sort of franchise the menu and whatever because it's quite a professional looking menu. I've put up a few pages of it here. What was appealing was that they do a thing Monday to Thursday where you can have two main courses for 17.50. So that's what 8.75 each, which is quite the savings. The katsu curry was the same either way. I did ask the barmaid, and its regular price is 11 quid. So between me and Irene, we saved about a fiver on the menus using this offer. They also do a pensioners menu if you're keen, and over 60, and that's £8.50 for 2 courses, including soup and a main. So one to look out for. So we ordered our food and had our usual trip to the toilets. You can see the gents here. It's okay, it's quite old fashioned, man's pub type toilet, and obviously a wee bit of the old bangers and mash. But overall, no complaints. Irene took some of the ladies and said it was fine, no problems there at all. So the food came out in about 10 minutes or so, and it was well presented. You can see the katsu here. It's got a nice rice breakwater, which separates the katsu itself from the gravy. Didn't really work. It was quite sodden, and the fillet itself was quite small, only about 5 or 6 slices out of it. The batter was quite nice, so there was that spice to it. And the gravy was nice. I wouldn't say it was like katsu. It was more just a general curry gravy. But it went well. I ate a lot. I was meant to get an Asian salad with it, but instead I got a few sprigs of lettuce, so I don't know what happened there, but maybe they just eat lettuce in Asia, I don't know. But there you go. Anyway, so the food was nice. We ate a lot. Wasn't too substantial, probably still a bit hungry afterwards. Irene had the scampi, which she thought was excellent. I had a couple of chips, and they were nice and meaty and fluffy, so probably depends on what you order. But if you're on a katsu curry quest, I would probably go elsewhere. The overall bill was 23.85 using this cheapskate menu, and so that was the pint of Foster's didn't have tenants here. That was 3.80, and Irene did a coffee at 2.55, and that came with refills. So she had 2 lattes for 2.55, which is a pretty good deal. So overall, the value here was good. Food wasn't brilliant. Toilets are okay. So kind of a middling operation, I would say, but it's a pleasant enough environment. The barmaid was really nice and attentive. Did ask how the food was, and we'd seen her earlier in the week when we took in Woody, and she was very kind then as well. So I'd give it extra marks for the service, and hopefully next time the katsu curry can pull its socks up a wee bit. But onwards and upwards. Okay, now round three. So we're heading to the Projectionist, which is a hungry horse pub, which is in Renfrew. So I appreciate my Paisley audience may object to this, but I do have my reasons. I had found 5 katsu curries to sample in the Paisley area, but on closer investigation, 2 of them were Green King pubs. So I didn't want to get the same dinner in 2 separate pubs because no doubt it will just be the same. So I had to spread my wings a little bit further. Once I got to the Projectionist here at Braehead, I found it's also a Green King pub.
They've rebadged it, you fool.
Because apparently Green King own Hungry Horse, but the menu is different. I did check; it's certainly more expensive for one. So you can see inside here, it's got a nice place. It is based on a cinema sort of layout. It is a bit dated though. The films that they had peppered about were things like Fantastic Mr. Fox, Frankenweenie, Brave, and Wall-E. So it maybe needs a little bit updating, but it's nice. It's got a lot of booths and seating, and a nice open bar as well. So generally a nice environment. I'll show you the menu here. We paid relatively expensive amounts here because I ate off the specials. But if you go Monday to Thursday, or Monday to Friday, I think it is, you only pay £14 for 2 specials, whereas I paid £13.79 for my katsu feast alone. So obviously you can save a couple of quid, but we spent £36.23 here because the beer was quite dear at £6.25 a pint as well. So I think they do exploit you slightly because you're at a shopping centre, and people there probably have more money to spend. So anyway, we did our usual pre-food at toilet inspection, and to be honest, it wasn't great here. It seems nice enough, but of the 2 cubicles and the gents, both were, let's say, somewhat soiled. I'll censor this. Anyway, Diane said the ladies was nicer, but most of the stalls didn't have locks in the doors, which is a bit suspect. So obviously the toilets here could do a bit more attention. It did have a inspection sheet on the door, and somebody had done it only about an hour earlier. So either they're really unlucky, or the person hadn't really inspected the toilets. But anyway, the food came in about 50 minutes or so, and I got this big plate full here. The chicken was nice. It was described as a schnitzel, and I suspect this is the same schnitzel you get if you have it covered in Napoli sauce or cheese or in a big burger. So it's essentially a big chicken burger that they've covered in some curry sauce. You also get a second gravy boat of curry sauce, which I didn't know the reason for that really. It said for dipping, but I think you could really just chuck more curry sauce on the actual schnitzel and nobody would fall out over it. You also got some rice. It says basmati rice, but it's pretty bog standard boiled rice. There was no welled rice through it or any seasoning. But you did also get chips here, and they came with salt and pepper sort of dusting on them, which is a bit strange. I think they probably might shake them in a bag so that the dust was like uniformly spread. But in this case, it was just a big pile of dust on top, like the chef had just dropped it on. So overall, the food was okay. The curry sauce was quite nice. The chicken was fine, but I would say it was pretty bland and average, and certainly not worth 13.79. So I'd mark it down on the value proposition here. Overall, it was a decent visit. We both finished our food. Irene had, you can see here, the gammon steak. And she got two gammon steaks with it. I think they each 4 ounces. And she only ate one. So we had the second one chopped up in an omelette this morning. So the day after. So that was good. But it rates lower here because although it's a nice venue, the toilets were poor, food was average, and it was expensive. So the ratings here reflect that, and it's probably going to be one at the back of the pack when the final reckoning is coming together. Well, next up, we're out in Paisley on a Saturday night, which is always fun. And it's especially busy tonight as the Christmas lights are going on, and Scotland are playing Greece later, which they lost 3-2, unfortunately. Anyway, so we're heading to the last post, which is a JD Wetherspoon's pub, and it's the biggest pub in Paisley by a mile. It's always rammed, usually because it's quite cheap, but not as cheap as it used to be. Anyway, you can see here it's busy enough with the wee instant where the waiter dropped a tub of coleslaw and it landed over a woman's coat, so that was quite good fun. And there's another woman with her kids running about screaming, and she was encouraging them. So all good in the Wetherspoons, as you know. So we went a wee quick look in the toilet. I didn't get much footage because it was quite busy being a Saturday night, and it was, as you'd expect, pretty manky. So little enough to be said about that. So we ordered our food and it came in about 10-15 minutes, which wasn't too bad. I was out with my friend Craig, who kindly offered to pay. So I'll give a wee shout out for his business, Bishopton Trainer Laundry, and they'll do good work and not sniff your shoes. So go there. Anyway, so the katsu curry here was really good. I was surprised. It was a good pile of rice, which was nice and fluffy, and the chicken seemed to be specially made. It wasn't like a chicken burger, and the batter was quite light and fluffy almost. The sauce itself, it was better than the standard chip shop gravy, and you also got chopped up chili pepper, which is also a pleasant treat. So I ate a lot, so that was good. Craig paid for it, but it was relatively cheap. It was about 10.79 for the katsu and for a pint. I think I got Peretti. I wasn't allowed to get tenants because it was too cheap, so got to maximise out the offer. But the food was good, and this one ranked higher than I expected to. So well done to JD Witherspoons for a affordable and tasty meal. Okay, right, we've made it to the final pub in this edition of the Paisley Food Fight. We're heading towards it now, and this is the Craig Dhu, which is a Green King pub. It's located in Carl's Side, near where it meets up with Causey Side Street. So this is like to the south of Paisley, maybe about zero point 0.7 of a mile from the centre of town, but it's quite local to me, and it's a pub that me and Irene visit quite regularly. You can see inside it's a old-fashioned kind of pub. It was quiet when we were there on a Monday lunchtime, and we got our usuals on the menu. They do a special here where it's two items for 13.49. Although it is an extra £1.50 supplement if you want the fish and chips. So the katsu curry is part of this, and it is a favourite of mine. It's probably why I chose to do katsu curry on this iteration of the food fight. So with our usual quick look through the toilets, and the gents was fine. There was one bit of toilet paper in one, but there was no evidence of matter. And Irene said the ladies was good too. There's one bit of lino that was like peeling off the wall, but nothing to worry about too much. Anyway, the host barman was very friendly and attentive. Ordered on the app, but he did check in on us a couple of times, so the service was really good. The food came quickly and it was excellent. You can see here the the Katsu Curry, it comes with both chips and rice, which is a boon for a greedy person like myself. And you also get some nice spring onions and chili chopped through it. So it looks really nice and well curated. It's not just slapped on a plate like you get in some chain pubs. The chicken was nice and firm and had a nice crisp batter around it. The rice was fluffy and it had wee bits of black in it, which I'm assuming is weld rice and not burnt enders. The chips were really nice and crisp, and the curry sauce was excellent. It was a really thick gravy with that katsu flavour through it. So overall, this is an excellent meal. Really good value. It's about £5 cheaper than the Projectionist, and it was twice as good. So can't knock that. Irene had the macaroni, which was good too. Came with two bits of garlic bread and a side salad. She also added some chips to it, which were 2.99, and again the chips were excellent. This brought the bill to a total of 22.96, which is about 50% cheaper than the Projectionist again. Sorry, keep knocking them. And the food was better. So this would be a nice lunch for under 20 quid if we hadn't had extra chips. Although Irene did have a coffee instead of an alcoholic drink. Um, so I'll show you the scores here, and given the glowing references here, you won't be surprised that the Craig Do has won the Katsu Curry edition of the Paisley Food Fight. So well done to them. I'll be back in later, hopefully get a bribe. Probably not. So thanks for watching to the end. Hope you enjoyed this edition of the Paisley Food Fight. And if you've got any recommendations of venues or of food that I should try in the next round, please let me know in the comments below. But thanks again. Hopefully see you soon. Take care. Bye bye now.